Vandy Shellis, and welcome to Environmental Coffee House. Tonight, of course, we're waiting for people to join us because we're live. We have a special guest named Patrick Hanna. And this is something I've been thinking about for a while, is the Let's Talk to Each Other series. A lot of us, we travel in the same circles. You could call it the doomosphere, the abrupt climate change world, but we do on YouTube and Facebook. And so I thought Patrick had contacted me, but I've seen Patrick's comments on all the different various groups and all. And I thought, let's do this. It's been a while. I haven't done one of these since I brought Tim Lazenby on from the UK. And we talked about living in a castle. And Kent is with us. Kent James Deal's with us.
Oh, I can see the comments. There you
Okay,
go.
good.
Cool.
Okay, we didn't know because you're not on a big screen, so you can put the comments when I put them up on the screen. And Jeffrey's with us. Okay, Jeffrey, great. All right, well then, what I'm going to do? Oh, Greg's with us. All right, we're growing an audience.
Hey, Greg.
Where's all the girls?
Right.
Oh, Lori's here. Okay, Lori's here. The gang is all here. You see, Environmental Coffee House Facebook has a family. We really have a family, and you're now in the family. So welcome, Patrick Hanna, and I'm turning it over to you.
Thanks, Sandy. Thank you, group, for tuning in. And first of all, I want to give a shout out to Jennifer Hines. If it wasn't for her, I would not have connected with Sandy. So I want to give Jennifer a huge shout out to being the catalyst to getting us two together.
Wonderful.
Right. So yay, Jennifer. And she's awesome in person. I've actually met her in person, and she's awesome. I also want to give out a shout out to Kevin Hester, our mate from New Zealand, another good friend. Go Kevin. And I will be reading a quote from him shortly. So why did I reach out to Sandy? Starting in 2014, I became aware of NTHE through Guy McPherson. He was the latest domino. You know, we could go from James Hansen on through the whole domino. And then I found Guy McPherson in 2014 and just kept researching and researching and researching. I've always been a weather and climate enthusiast since I was a teenager, always wondering what the weather was going to be like in the future. So, and then a quote from Sam Mitchell, going down into the rabbit hole, I dug myself down deeper and deeper into the rabbit hole and became obsessed, addicted to NTHE. Once I found out what NTHE was, I became addicted. But a side effect of going down this rabbit hole is, as we all know, it's isolating, depressing, it's lonely. So we all know that. So 2 years ago in 2017, I had a very rough time. Basically freaking out, pulling my hair out, what I have left. And it's all gray and there's a bald spot up here. So anyway.
Oh, don't be silly. Stop it.
I had to reach out to friends like Carolyn Baker, and there's another shout out. I want to give a shout out to Carolyn Baker.
All people I've also met and gone to the workshops, and I'm friends with them.
She was instrumental in counseling me through trying to wrap my head around this whole thing without going crazy. I found a paragraph in Kevin Hester's latest article, I guess you'd say. He posted an article saying, "Navigating Hospice at the Edge of Extinction." And I have a huge respect for Kevin. Let me read this real paragraph, and it kind of explains why I'm reaching out.
Absolutely.
It says, I don't know if this is Kevin's quote or a quote from Jem Bendel. I haven't quite figured out who the quote's from, but it reads as follows. It says, "Knowledge of and acceptance of our predicament can be a lonely, isolating place to be. In many respects, it's the first challenge we need to face. First and foremost, it's imperative to find like-minded souls to share our grief with. There has never been in the history of our species been a more important time to form a tribe and to cut the deadwood free.
Wow.
So that
Wow.
beautifully sums up why I'm reaching out to people, because I had a very difficult time. I was severely depressed a couple of years ago, and in my, I've struggled with mental health for quite some time, and I've learned what the best thing to do is to reach out. One of my favorite phrases is, a problem talked about is cut in half. So I need to, because my family doesn't understand our predicament, I can't talk to them. So I need to create my own family.
Right.
So between Jennifer and Carolyn Baker and Guy McPherson and Kevin Hester and Sandy Shellis, and I can go on and on.
I'm happy to do that.
And it's an increasingly, ever increasing group, family. I love the term family because we all need that sense of community of people we can share with that understand each other. And I need that. I've come to learn that that's paramount to my mental health in trying to understand the grief and process the grief. I'm not afraid to die. I'm afraid of the suffering and loss of not only our friends and family, but this beautiful earth.
You're not alone. We're all in this. And then when you
Right.
say family, that's what we've tried to create in a way, even though I had someone on YouTube when Jennifer and I did our last stream, and then one of the commenters was like, well, the Environmental Coffee House family is bull, and we're going to meet this horrible end, and all those things. And you know what, though? My answer back is always, but we wake up in the morning and we're still here today.
Right.
We're still here today. So we need to find meaning for why we're getting up every day, especially in light of everything that we know.
Right. Well, and one of the quotes that the guy gives us that I had the hardest time wrapping my head around was to not be attached to the outcome. And
absolutely.
It's so hard because, myself, I wear my heart on my sleeve, and I care deeply about everything, anybody and everything, and I'm a highly sensitive person, and so when I think about death and dying, not necessarily death, but suffering, not only humans but animals, and the trees. I mean, we're killing them. We're actively killing them through business as usual.
Business as usual. You really sound, I mean, a lot of us in this that are as aware as we are, we feel the same way. We are deeply feeling souls. We are people with empathy. And sometimes we have more empathy than we know how to handle. And that's when reaching out to others is really critical. And that's why I do this too. I'm alone a lot. I live in the middle of nowhere, and I've created this thing, and some people might say, but it's online. I have flesh and blood friends, but this is so important to me because my flesh and blood friends too don't always want to hear when I talk about the doomosphere or when I talk about, what's coming down the pike. They have grandchildren. They have fear, and it's tough. But then I have you, and I have Jennifer, and I have Jeff, and I have Lori, and I mean, I can't even tell you.
We have to live in two worlds. I've come to the conclusion that we have to live in two worlds. We have the NTHE world, and then we have our
Can you just say
professional world.
Say it out loud. What is NTHE? Just in case there's someone here. Yeah, just in case.
NTHE stands for near-term human extinction.
Okay.
And
what does it mean to you? What does it mean to you?
Well, as near-term is a vague term on purpose, I like to say. What is near-term? That near-term, it depends depending on how old you are. Near-term can be tomorrow, but also near term can be 10 years from now. Long term is a human lifespan maybe. So anyway, back to near term. We don't know what near term actually means. It means our time is limited. It means it could be the blink of an eye. Near term human extinction, that's self-explanatory. But near term is vague, and I know Guy coined the phrase on purpose. I'm sure he said that for a purpose.
Mm-hmm.
That near term is vague, because none of us know when we're all going to go extinct. Do we know when? Do I know when Sandy's going to go extinct? Do I know when you're going to die? Do I know when I'm going to die? No. But no. It would be nice to know, so we can. Well, there's pros and cons.
Boy, is that could be an hour discussion.
Exactly. That's a can of worms. But
boy.
Back to earlier discussion. I want to talk about living in two worlds.
Yes.
The professional world that I live in, and the daily conversation I hear from my coworkers. Two of my coworkers just recently got engaged, and of course I'm hearing about, we're going to get married, we're going to have children, we're going to have this beautiful and prosperous life. Da 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 da. All I could do was bite my tongue. All I could do. I stayed quiet, but I didn't have the guts to burst their bubble. I didn't have, that, the one I'm referring to, she's 30 years old, going to get married within a year, wants to have kids. All I could do was shake my head. But, but inside I was grieving. I had a very heavy heart. I was grieving.
I do. I have a 30-year-old daughter.
Oh, dear.
And I had one kid. Yeah, but you know what her thing is? She told me when she was maybe 16, Ma, she says, I'm not a breeder. She's not.
Well, right. Well, and I realize having children is a choice. And I with respect to, you can't tell somebody what to do. You can only suggest. People are going to do what they're going to do. And it took me a long time to let go of changing other people. You can't. So, this whole NTHE journey for me is a lesson of learning to let go of the outcome, learning to let go of other people, learning to stay in the moment. And as Guy says, only love remains. To focus on that rather than the negatives, which is hard, easier said than done. But that, coming full circle, that's why we need to talk to each other and help each other process this huge predicament
on a daily basis.
On a daily basis.
Another thing I want to see, Patrick, I want to see the negativity within our community not happen. But some people just are tuned into the drama, and I can't stop it. But then I'm not responsible for anyone but myself.
True. I've also learned. I thought, I want to believe in the good, all the good in people. But just as the NTHE crowd is basically a subset of the general population, there's going to be good people and not so good people. But so we have to sift through talking to people who those good people are. So, and that's, and a good side effect for me is now that I finally have my life in order, I've got my ducks in a row, I can travel and meet people. I had a glorious time with Jennifer Hines and Carolyn Baker, and I've never been to Colorado before.
Me
so there
neither.
was a win-win situation.
Yeah. Right.
And so I'm Sandy, I would love to come. I've never been to Buffalo, so I would love to come there in that neck of the woods.
You missed the big party by 1 year, but there's a lot to do here. And truthfully, I would love Guy McPherson to speak. I would, in Buffalo, New York, come up here, but I don't know what venue or have, any number of people come up here. We have Cornell up here, which is the agricultural school. There's a lot of venues, there's a lot of things I would love to see happen. But if something big did happen, come on and visit.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
what do you think your next adventure is?
Well, I don't know. I kind of make it up as I go, I have to say. I mean, I have dreams. I mean, if I could afford to, my dream, if money was no object, I would love to head to New Zealand and spend some time with Kevin, to Kevin Hester, because I mean, my dad and his wife was able to go to New Zealand and Australia, and it looks absolutely beautiful. So that I would love to go see before it's too late. Go see Australia, New Zealand. It's only money.
Yeah, and the problem though is there's a lot of people that don't have it to go, and we live vicariously through those who do, and their video media. And that's another thing why video media is so great. And if you're able to decipher the crap from the good stuff, the wheat from the chaff, the shit from the garbage on YouTube, you can find the gems and really learn, really learn, as long as you don't get sucked down those really crazy rabbit holes of, I'm not going there. Our rabbit hole is enough, but our rabbit hole is based on data, facts, science, and reality.
But it's so important. I can't stress enough how important, at least for me, I'm speaking for me, I need that community. And because I can't find it locally, I could probably try. I could probably try really hard, but it would be more effort than it's worth. But I think it's easier with the internet to find like-minded people through our various groups.
Yeah, I actually was at a meeting, a fundraiser yesterday, and some guy comes running up to me, and it turns out that he's watched the channel, and where I live locally, people do know what I do, but I don't think they follow much, or they're scared to, or I don't know. They watched me when I was interviewing all the progressive candidates, that I always say, any progressive candidate, they don't win, but I love doing it anyway, because it's different and refreshing. And most of them don't know anything about what's really happening in the big picture of our climate disruption and methane, but people are getting more educated. But anyway, guy comes running up to me and he was saying, I'm a doomer. In the middle of my little farm town nowhere. I'm a doomer, he says. And he had an electric car. He was all excited. I mean, so little things like that do happen. And maybe that'll happen to you. But do you do anything local in your community environmentally? Because I do. I belong to a group.
I should. I don't. I have to. I confess, I have not been environmentally involved in my local community. I should.
Well, that's where you might find that. That's someone that gets it. Like yesterday, who ran up to me, it wasn't even an environmental fundraiser, okay? But who ran up to me and was so excited because, oh my God, another person that is a doomer, and knew me from the goddamn thing, the internet here. And I mean, I shouldn't be surprised. My face and my name is all over everywhere. And do I really give a shit? No. I mean, I have nothing to hide, I'm starting to look like pixelated woman. I'm going to make myself smaller. No, really, that's the internet. I mean, everybody that comes to our channel knows that this channel is low budget because we have no budget. And I'm waiting for a new modem. So you look great. So let's move on. Tell us now, okay, what would you like to see for the community? What would you like to see happen for this community? Meet and greets, or, tell us, do you have a thing in your mind?
Well, again, I mean, I don't really have an agenda, so to speak, but it's I would love to see members of the Demosphere like ourselves meet. I know we have our own lives, and we can't really travel, and it's difficult. I understand, and I'm trying to be proactive in trying to get out there. I'm always for meeting new people. I'd like to travel now that I have the means to and resources. So just to get new perspectives on our predicament. Now, how are other people dealing with it? I'm always open to suggestions and to hear new perspectives of how to deal with this stuff. I'm holding my own, and I in turn can offer my perspective. It's a win-win situation, I hope. And and just meeting and having fun times, eat, drink, and be merry.
Yeah, Natural Progressive. She's going on after us on YouTube. How cool. See, the community is getting bigger. She has a show, and her show is great because she has the ability on YouTube to bring on also, but a lot of people all at once. She has the internet bandwidth. So it's great because we all get to see each other, and it's a community on YouTube. So you need to come over there because it's a lot of fun. And she's terrific. And, she broke in on the scene. She interviewed Guy already. She's doing it, and she's trying to build something too. And we're all getting together, and it is cool. It really is. So let's see who's here. We have a lot of people here.
It's a great excuse for me to try, because there are places I want to see. I mean, they were, like I said, it was a win-win situation with Jennifer and Baker. Sorry, I just had a brain fart.
Carolyn,
of course. I mean, it was a win-win situation. I've never been to Colorado. There's some other places I want to see. I'm actually, I contacted someone in Idaho, and I forgot her name at the moment, but I've never been to Idaho. So, I'm trying to.
Keith just said would love to organize a meet and greet with live feeds here in Queensland. You know what? I would love to go. That's a bucket list thing, Australia, but I would also really like to go to Greenland and Alaska. I want to see the glaciers. I've been saying this forever, but the problem is, you could look at it a couple of ways with the flying. Couple of ways. Either like somebody said to me, well, if your ass is not in the seat, someone else's will be. Right. Or just think, if you're flying, you're contributing to the global dimming effect and maybe giving us more time. I mean, of course, it's all a total psychological rationalization in our heads. Absolutely.
Well, for as a disclaimer, my one F-bomb, I have to give one F-bomb.
Go for
my
it.
My take on the whole flying thing is, we're fucked. No matter if we fly or not, we're fucked. We are so fucked. I mean, that's the only way you can put it.
WASF.
I don't give a damn if you fly or not. I mean, if I decide to fly or not, is that going to save the world? Is that going to save our species? No.
But I have a question. Let's see if I'm still pixelated. Probably. With things like the Green New Deal and politics, I know you laugh. You probably, because a lot of people are like, well, why? I'm of the idea that we should just keep doing whatever we can do, no matter, because we know without that outcome, we know if we don't, hinge to the outcome. But what are people supposed to do? Human beings are always going to do this. They're going to come up with this stuff. As long as it's, we're already destroying the environment. I don't want to see like solar radiation management. I don't want to see any of it. But I'm talking about the things that we can have, like solar panels on my house. I want to be completely off the grid. Those things, maybe they're just make you feel good things, but you know what? That I'm going to die feeling good. And I am not going to listen to those people that keep telling me that there are going to be a lot of marauders, hoarders marauding my house. I mean, okay, I know my way around the firearm. I live rurally, but I'm not going to think like that. I'm going to think about today and not, that 6 months from now, though, I am thinking about. We are thinking about food and our garden and the food we have and how to keep it fresh because of all the rain we've had. My garden looks like shit. That's, hey, anytime you want to come and help us here, this homestead, we put people to work.
Well, I would feel a lot better if my own family was on board and we could work on it together. What a novel idea. And it would take a lot of stress away from me, because I would feel like I was doing something to prepare to live off grid.
Yeah.
It's going to happen soon. But by the time my family get it, it's going to be too late.
And that's a hard thing to do for all of us.
Right.
So many of us. Now, my family knows what I do. And I don't think they think I'm completely crazy, because when the New York Times, a New York Magazine article came down, The Uninhabitable Earth, remember that one with David Wallace Wells?
Yep.
My mother called me and there was dead silence on the phone. And she said, Sandy, you were right. I couldn't believe it. And now my parents are completely understanding. We don't talk about it. They're still addicted to Rachel Maddow, but they got it.
I can't wait for my family to get it.
Well, do they read things like that?
I don't know.
Yeah, see, mine are lefty. They would read that stuff. And, my mother, I know they were in denial. They were like me, the 2100 crowd, it's not going to happen to me crowd. Oh, it's not going to be my kid crowd. But it's not that anymore. We know this.
Right. That's why, and I don't watch the mainstream media, but I do watch the Arctic ice daily. It's my new crack. It's my new addiction.
It's been mine for 3 years.
Well, yeah, but it's one of those necessary evils. And this would be an appropriate time to give a shout out to Torsten.
Yeah, Torsten's with us.
Hi, Torsten. I would love to meet you in person too, Torsten.
Well, we got to go to Greenland. That's a big.
Yeah, he's our go-to for Greenland.
Huge bucket list for me.
Yes, but it's depressing to look at, but it's my yearning to try to figure out how much time we have left. So, because I know as soon as that ice is gone, we have just a few years left after that.
But
anyway, let's talk about something.
No, it's okay. I just want to delve into this a little bit with you, because how much time we have left? Is it an obsession and then you're going to be on a countdown? Or is it more of a scientific quest because of the facts and the data to understand the processes? Which side of the continuum are you on here?
A little bit of, I would have to say both. It's more, I don't do well with unknowns. That's just how I work. I don't do well with unknowns, and I'm doing the best I can. But should I save money? How much do we? If we're gonna have another 10 years, I should keep saving money. If we have 3 years, don't need to save money. I know I'm going to be broke
already. I've calculated I'll be broke in 5 exact years. 5 years I will be broke.
Right. I'm investing in gold and silver, but okay, that's only if we have 10 years left.
But what's that for? Other people have said that to me. Tell me what your version of gold and silver is and what's going to happen with it.
Well, I've been doing my research. This is kind of separate from NTHE, but there is it has to do with 1971. America, pretty much the world went off the gold standard for currency and went to a petrodollar system.
Yep.
And the central bank system. Now, any type of currency only lasts about 50, 60, 70 years. We're at the end of that lifespan. So now the globe is in so much debt. I mean, we've only compounded the debt since the 2008-2009 financial crisis. So we're about to go through something even bigger. When is that going to happen? At the latest, it'll be 2021. At the latest. When that happens, what happens to the economy is when you have these big crises, is the economy, all global economies go to shit. Okay, what do we know about the global dimming, the aerosol masking effect? 35% loss in aerosols, 1C rise. Poof, we're gone.
Do you know anything about MMT and
yes.
Real progressives? MMT is modern monetary theory. That's where we can afford the things that we need to do, at least in the short term, to get us to an economy, a green economy, lower carbon, all that. Real progressives is the channel. I'm giving them a shout out, that is talking about all of the economic issues.
Right.
Just
But I
wondered
do
if you.
know that we are going to go back to some form of gold standard. So
Hmm,
that's why I've been looking into gold and silver. But it all depends. It all
okay.
boils down to how much time we have. So I understand the MMT. I understand that the whole amount of that stuff, the metals and stuff like that. It all that's the big variable is how much time we have. I mean, I'm trying to play both sides just to be prepared for either scenario. You know, I don't want to
Well,
invest
you're
too
way
much.
ahead of me. You know what? I guess you're way ahead of probably a lot of us because I
Right.
know, especially like, well, I don't mean, I just live day to day. I mean, we're just trying to get the goddamn vegetables to grow. I
Right.
don't
But
know
I'm
what's going to happen. But you know what? Difference is you're healthy and I'm not.
yeah.
I have issues
It's
and I
it's relative.
suffer from
It's all
pain.
relative. It's
Right.
all relative.
And I keep thinking, well, if the shit hits the fan, what am I going to do? I can't even lift 2 gallons of milk without dying for 3 days. So really, maybe that's why my attitude towards certain things is a little different. I live
Mhm.
for today and I don't know. I don't think a lot about
Yeah.
the horrible things that
It's
could happen. I just
it's all
have
about
learned to
balance.
cope. Yeah, balance.
It's
I've learned to
balance.
cope.
But balance in and of itself is difficult. I mean, it's a skill. I've come to the conclusion that creating balance is a skill. We're not all born with that innate ability to be able to balance life. Life is not easy. We know that. So acquiring the ability to have balance in your life is difficult.
Yeah.
And I think that's again full circle. That's why we need each other. We're not meant to go through life alone. Now here I am living alone, and I have a cat, but and that's another reason. Even though I have a girlfriend, but it's long distance, very long distance.
Mm.
I still live alone, and that's what's the motivation behind me creating that in family, environment.
Mm-hmm.
That's the support network is what I'm getting at. The support network, because I can't rely on my family for the mental grief network
Okay.
support network. I need to rely on you guys to help me, and I can help you. It's all together,
And like Jennifer and
helping.
I were talking the other day, we're really flesh and blood
Yes.
people here. We're just on the other side. I mean, when I was a kid, or how many years, 30 years, I would never think that this could happen. This is the picture phone. This is the future from my life. This is the future, but it's here. I'm living it. But
Mm-hmm.
I'm not consumed with the future. I take the deep breath. People ask me, Sandy, how come you're not depressed? And I say, well, because I can't control it, but I can
Mm-hmm.
control myself. I can't control anything else other than myself. Maybe my stupid cats. I can't even control them.
Right.
Certainly not my husband, who I don't
Right.
even want to control.
Right.
That's,
I'm
the
I, I'm a lot better now than I used to be. I will say that. I mean, I am. Whoops. I am somewhat sane now,
oh, I think you
as opposed to
sounded
2 years
really
ago.
sane.
Well, as opposed 2 years ago, I was freaking the hell out.
Well, it was scary
Because
to learn this.
well, of course,
Scary. I mean, I
yeah.
learned it, but I gradually got into it. And the first person I saw that really resonated with me was Hambone, Sam. I
Hmm.
mean, all of a sudden I'm on YouTube and I never used YouTube. I was a professional. I always worked. I was so into HR. My life was human resources, my career, blah, blah, blah. Okay. So here I am. I retired medically and I'm fooling around with YouTube. And here's this dude, he looks like a real freak. I started listening. Holy shit, I didn't even know who Guy McPherson was yet.
Mhm.
So it was that's maybe why I have such an affinity for Sam, because he's such a good friend. He's like my brother from another mother, because he resonated. Here I was with a guy that, oh my God, he thinks like I do. And I
Mhm.
brought him on Environmental Coffee House for the first time. And my admin pretty much quit after that because he freaked out about the population discussion and he freaked out about all this stuff because what he wasn't ready for this,
Mhm.
like not ready for primetime players. But we've evolved, grown, and changed as a channel, as a page. We had to, because what's going on in the world is evolving with us. When I started putting stuff up on Facebook, there you couldn't find 11 articles a day. Now there's 111 articles a day, but of course they're all in different kind of venues.
Right. Well, I mean, it's for some reason the bad news comes in cycles. I see that, like, now, India's running out of water, and the heat waves in Europe. I mean, 105 degrees in Germany. Good Christ. I mean, we have, the Arctic's melting, and permafrost, and is melting faster than expected. So I mean, it's all these heat, drought, floods in the middle of the United States.
Yeah.
I mean, it's funny. If anyone knows anything about Michigan, let's see. The Michigan is shaped like a hand. There was a cartoon or a picture that said, that made all of the water and took care of the other sides, and the state of Michigan looked like the middle finger. It's like, we're getting tired of all this rain. Okay, so I wanted to post something about, well, this is climate change, but I never did. Get used to it. So,
which is exactly what I've been saying to people. And I had company this week. A girlfriend of mine has her little trailer in the back of my property. And they come now on the weekends, her and Joan and her friend. And, my girlfriends want to party, and I like it. It's okay. I actually like it. And they know what I do. And so we do talk about it, but we're more talking about environmental pollution, toxins, GMOs, because we're so into organic living and farming and all that crap, all of us. So it's that when I start going a little bit too much on what's, blue ocean event, Arctic and all that, they do get a little freaked. But at least I have people that do understand me in the flesh and blood. Thank God.
You have those kinds of things. That's something I don't have. I may have my health, but you have more climate friends, more people that understand. You have more people in your life that understand our predicament than I do.
Now you're pixelated. I'm going to put you little. Wait, let me see. Okay. Let's until you become unpixelated. Do you have broadband, a hard band, or do you have just the same nonsense I have?
I've got I should have broadband.
Really? I wonder why that's happening to you.
Oh no.
I wonder what's going on in the air. I always wonder, because I don't have any hardwired cable, so I always think about all that crap coming in the house.
Right.
Coming through your body. I don't know. 5G, woo, all that.
Oh, don't get me started on the 5G.
Let's see. Andrew. Andrew said, I'm sure I freaked out half the environmental coffee house with my climate obsession. Andrew, I'm sure you haven't. Andrew, You fit well. Everybody, I've had people tell me that they could not come to our page because she's the one woman. She said when she comes to our page on Facebook, she wants to go slit her wrists. So I started putting some more support things on. And then, we found Jem Bendel, and it is what it is, but it's not for the faint of hearted and people that want to be in denial. There's other channels they can go to, or they can be in denial and they can go watch those climate change deniers that would rather believe that it's a nefarious plot by governments to kill us, instead of the fact that industrialized civilization is why we're in the predicament we're in.
Right. Yeah, you're right. It's not for the faint of heart. And I guess I've gotten past that hurdle. 2 years ago, I struggled. But now on the other side, with the help of the community, I've been able to calm down a bit and at least figure out what my purpose is. And that's what I'm yearning for, is the purpose to help, receive help, but also give help.
Well, you're also
through the dialogue.
Don't you work in a helping?
Yes, I work in a hospital, and I love my job. And it took me, a long time to figure out what I want to be when I grow up. It's better late than never. But I love being in the helping profession. For those of you who don't know, I'm an X-ray tech at a local hospital. I absolutely
lots of people like me.
I absolutely love my job. Although there are frustrations, there's no such thing as a perfect job, but I do love helping people. It also takes the things that we learn in the healthcare industry, especially about being non-judgmental. We can think things, but we just can't say things to other people. I've learned that that's a big one. That you can't, just because someone's not healthy, you can't say what's on your mind. Just because someone is 600 pounds plus, diabetic, and yada yada yada.
Yeah.
I can't judge you. Number one, I don't know your story, and number two, it's not my problem. I mean, all I can do with my job and help you, take some X-rays on you, and that's it, and do my job.
Hey, Paul McGinley.
Paul McGinley. Of course, I know Paul. Paul and I have talked on the phone.
Yeah,
we're about an hour apart.
Another very awesome person. I love doing shows with Paul. They're always interesting, always timely. Oh my gosh, when for Memorial Day, we did a really good one together. He's an outstanding person.
Yeah,
everybody's an outstanding person.
Well, he's also in the hospital. I think he's a nurse.
Yes, he is. Yes, he is. And Andrew says, and that's good. Your job gives you purpose. See, you're still that's the thing. We're where we are. I mean, a lot of us are still in our careers and can't just jump off. And people in helping careers like you are critical.
Right.
Yeah,
I hear you, Paul. I just read your comment. I hear you.
Well said, Patrick. Not only can we not say things, but our thoughts can be re-examined.
Yes, sir.
That's
sir.
kind of creepy, isn't it? And Lori's a 30-year RN.
Lori,
she's a beautiful, lovely person. She went through the whole horrible thing in Houston with her house. It was really.
Oh dear.
Flooding? Yes,
so,
it was scary. Well, Lori's in the ECH family.
Yay. But speaking of scary, Houston, I mean, when's the next Hurricane Harvey going to hit?
I don't know what's going on for this year.
Every time I hear Houston, I equate Houston with Hurricane Harvey, and it's, or something worse. There's Hurricane Sandy, your namesake, Hurricane Sandy.
That's my husband. That's a kind of a nickname. Yeah, he's Hurricane Doug just as bad as I'm Hurricane Sandy too, and it's called Love in the End Times. Duke it out. No,
right. Well, there's so many ways that we could go. My biggest fear of the way of dying would have to be the nuclear radiation, because of the 450 nuclear power plants around the world. That's what scares the shit out of me.
You know what? You're not alone. And it scares a lot of us,
But again, what can we do about it? Absolutely nothing. So let's be in the state of the moment, seize the day.
Lori has PTSD in every heavy thunderstorm. You know what, Lori? Because we had that tornado, which is nothing like what you had. But I still get scared when the weather gets bad, because the next tornado could take my whole roof off. The next tornado could, and we never had them in Western New York. And now we get these warnings, and it's crazy.
Right.
Hey, Ed.
And hey, Ed. Oh, he says hi to Sandy, but not me. Fine.
Oh, Ed is just going to get to know you. He's part of the family group.
I'm just kidding, Ed.
Yeah.
I'm just kidding.
I hear you. Let's see. It's okay. We've been on 40. Good. I have to watch the time only because I cannot download anything in this stupid internet more than 45 minutes or cuts me off.
I feel this is only the beginning, Sandy. This is the beginning of something beautiful, I'm sure.
It is. You know what? ECH is a beautiful thing. And we got Jennifer. We've got Nicholas comes on as a guest. We've got Antonio. We've got even Nikia, who doesn't pop on as much, who is in the solar industry. It's just been really great. And, we're very civil, respectful, loving, caring group. And there's Judy and Justin and Jonathan, who schedules the page, and and there's Mindy, our graphic artist. I mean, it is just a really nice group of people, and we have a chat, and we keep in touch. You know, I think we really genuinely really care, like really have love. And Mindy came to my house. I can't even put on so pixelated. Mindy came to my home from California and stayed. I mean, I've had, and then last party I had the Doomers come, you know, we had the whole East Coast. So it can be done. And I'm just so grateful.
I tried back last September to get a Doomer group together. It turned out it was just me and 3 others out in Seattle, which I'd never been to Seattle. So, you know, I got to Seattle and got to see 3 other Doomer friends. And, you know, it's stuff like that. I'm trying to create excuses to travel, to go meet Doomers and see places that I haven't seen yet, you know.
Paul says Sandy's name has already been used with the hurricane nomenclature. Next will have to be Hurricane Tessie. Hurricane Tessie. Let's see what everybody has to say, because you know, we're going to approach that time, and I put us both on a different screen since we're both pixelated now for whatever reason. Dee Dee's with us. Dee Dee is an activist. She is an activist in Canada, and she had been to Standing Rock. She also does her own live streams on her own channel. And Kevin's with us tonight.
Hi, Kevin.
Hey, Kevin.
Shout out to Kevin.
This is like fantastic. Kevin's here. Chris is here. We've got a lot of wonderful commentators too. Torstein, and this is great. You see?
Okay, is it Torstein or Torstein?
Torstein.
Torstein.
Why is this so bad? I can't believe that this connection is as crappy as it is. I don't know. You know how in the old days, like your grandpa would go like this with the TV, hit the TV.
Right. Oh yeah.
You can't hit the modem to make.
It's always the TV's fault.
You can't hit the modem.
Well, forgive me for this joke, Torstein. It's Torstein, whatever it is. But I always remember the Mel Brooks film Young Frankenstein.
Oh yeah, yeah. Jennifer, yes.
Hi, Jennifer.
We've got a wonderful. You know, this is like an amazing group. Can you imagine if we were all together?
Oh my God.
In a bar, drinking, listening to great music, and having a I don't drink hardly at all. But if we were, you know, it would be fun.
That'd be beautiful.
We would have the communication would be amazing. And you know what? We wouldn't be sitting there gloomy. We wouldn't be being gloomers, and we wouldn't be being depressed, because we were amongst loved ones, each other. Yes. I guess I have to look at it like that. You know, I can't be negative. Well, I mean, I am negative enough over stupid shit.
I'll tell you what, Sandy, I know you can't travel much, but, you know, maybe if I could use the ECH venue, I could create an event, just a gathering of people. Nothing formal. I mean, I don't care where it's at, but we'll have to pick a location that works for a lot of us.
Yeah.
And I'd be happy to host it.
Well, I'll tell you, I was, you know, last year I was hoping I thought that we might be getting some people from Europe, but it's very hard for people to travel. But my place here, it was imperfect for everybody that camped out. I mean, it worked out great. It really did. It was phenomenal. And of course, I had too much food, but the music was wonderful. And something like that, I like rustic outdoors. And even though camping is hard, and I did go camping this year, which was almost my neck was like I was dying, but I'm still trying to, you know, live a life.
Right. Well, if my family was on board with all this, I would have the perfect location for all of this. I've shown a video to Jennifer, and she knows what I'm talking about. But it's in the northern part of the state of Michigan. It is rural, and it would be a great place for a lot of people to meet. But only because it's my dad's property, probably won't happen.
That's a shame.
Unless my family has an enlightenment, I don't see it happening.
I'm so happy Dee Dee's with us. You know, she's such an amazing person. What an activist.
Well,
I mean,
Dee Dee.
Dee Dee is great.
I just saw Dee Dee say Niagara Falls. I've never
Yeah.
seen Niagara Falls.
Yeah, well, she's from that part of Canada on that side, I think, near Toronto. And we're going to meet in Niagara Falls because I've got my husband's family is from that whole area up there, the toxic wasteland of Niagara Falls out there where they would dump all the shit. And so we go up there. I mean, before I lived down here rurally, we were up closer to that area. So Dee Dee and I, you know, it's like we don't know each other in the flesh yet, but it feels like we do. You know, it really do. It really does. But
I really appreciate phone calls, but it's so much means so much more in person.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Wait, who just commented real quick?
That was Jennifer said. It's
see?
Yeah, guys. Not Kevin. Patrick can't see the chat, so he has to depend on me putting the things up on the screen. So it's a little bit, you know. Ed says, "Take me with you."
Yeah, right.
Niagara Falls, Ed. Actually, Niagara Falls is absolutely gorgeous. I mean, really, in reality, it is.
Just for the record, Sandy, whoever's watching, please feel free to message me on Facebook. I'm always looking for more friends.
Andrew, he loves it when Sandy swears. You should
my
live
virgin
in the
my virgin ears.
Be a fucking fly on the wall. Yeah.
We're so fucked. We're so fucked.
You said it. You know what? I got to end this with putting up the WASF. Wait, WASF, and we're gonna put it up in big letters. But you know what? That's
my call sign. That's my call sign.
Oh, geez, Patrick, you're hilarious. You know, I mean, is it sickening that we can say it? People are going to say on YouTube when they watch this, they're going to say, it's horrible. Everything is just horrible.
Oh my God.
How can you even laugh and smile? Some people are going to get very upset at me, but I understand it and let them. I can't live my life being a miserable wretch every day because I know that capitalism sucks. I know that society sucks. I know we're going to collapse. I know all of it. But today we're not.
Right.
Today we want to keep fracking out of my county. Today we don't want the radioactive waste trucked in here. You know, I went on a tour of the landfill last week. I mean, life goes on until it doesn't. And that's how I'm going to end. That's always my thing.
Well said. That's all we can do.
So I'm going to give you the last word, like I always say to everybody, and then it's not, but I'm really going to.
Well, I've already said everything that needs to be said. Is that it's all I want to do. My main goal is to start a dialogue with other people and increase my doomer family. I hope that's the only thing that should be indefinite growth. You know, that should be the only thing that grows constantly is the number of our friends. And that's the infinite growth paradigm right there. That's the good infinite growth paradigm. You can never have enough friends, good friends, that is. So, and that's my goal. And thanks to Sandy for giving me the channel or the vehicle to get my message out there.
Yeah, and you'll definitely, you know what? Definitely come back. And if you ever so want to become a commentator and you want to do your own thing without me. You could join up with us too, because that's what this is. This is what I did it for others' voices.
Okay. Well, and also if anyone wants to come see Michigan, I'd be happy to host anybody that wants to come see Michigan. Michigan's a beautiful state, so feel free.
Oh boy, let me let Dee Dee get the last word in today. We don't give license for our CMP to mishandle BC First Nations water protectors. Me and her, I think we need to probably have something soon on my channel to let everybody know what's going on up there. She's incredible. What an activist. She's the activist. But anyway, because I can't download after a certain amount of minutes, we are definitely done. Love you, everybody. Okay. Thank you, Patrick.
Thanks, Sandy.
Thank you, everyone. And I will end with my
peace.
You stick around, Patrick. Don't leave it. Bye, everybody.
Okay.
And then we'll join. Oh, we got to go to the Natural Progressive on YouTube after this.